A man's character is his fate, which I agree with. Hello, my lovelies. So good to be with you again. It's Angelique here. It's amazing. It's a Sunday afternoon. I'm so happy, feeling really cozy in the run-up to the winter break. I'm doing something kind of special and a little bit different this week, trying something new. Why not? I'm going to give you a book of the week review. Wow, I'm so excited to tell you that my book of the week this week is Brick Lane, and that is written by Monica Ali, and I absolutely think that this book is so fantastic. Published by Black Swan, who also made that really excellent film with Natalie Portman. So I think they're amazing, such good publishers. It's an amazing film. I've watched it 1 time and I would really be open to watching it again and certainly reading more of their books. I really would. But I think this is a really excellent book. Yes, and just to tell you a little bit about the story, it is about Nazneen, and I think she's such a compelling character, not least because we meet her when she's 18. This book is written with a wisdom and skill that few authors attain in a lifetime, so that's really excellent. Monica Ali, I think, is a really special writer. You can see a picture of her here. I absolutely love it in books where they show you a picture of the author. She is married. It says Monica Ali lives in London with her husband. Good for her. I assume she had a lovely hen weekend. She looks like someone who's really up for a good time, but in quite a sensible way. She'd have gone to Bath, she'd have gone to York. I don't think she'd have done anything like insist they spend hundreds of pounds on a week in Spain. You know, it would have been afternoon tea and a boat ride in Cambridge, something like, you know, punting and gin and tonic, something lovely. I love what she's wearing. It's sort of very neutral colours. Her posture is like very relaxed but also quite poised. I'm imagining that she's not someone who sort of like slumps over her desk like some little sort of writerly gremlin. I think she probably, you know, will write for like 2 hours at a time, then maybe attend a Pilates lesson. That's what she looks like to me, very sort of aspirational, and I wouldn't say she's bigger than a size 10, so that is absolutely wonderful to see. And I think it's so fun to see like a playful, relaxed woman against a wall, because when we think of writers, we usually think of, you know, Charles Dickens. You know, we think of Charles and we think, oh, it's a man trudging around, you know, 19th century London, being very depressed and sort of grizzling about the state of the world. And here we have someone who like absolutely could be in an M&S advert. Something really tasteful with like 5 or 6 of her closest friends. It's that sort of tricky thing, isn't it, where she'd have had to invite people from very different friendship circles, maybe a friend who she'd had from school, who she didn't have that much in common with anymore, but she felt, you know, I can't exclude Maddie, I need to invite her. I knew her when I was 14 and Maddie's come along and she's not really fitted in with the other girls. She thought it would be a bit of a joke to hire a male stripper. No one else is really in the mood for it, and they've just had this, you know, maybe a waiter in the buff could have been, and everyone's just felt very uncomfortable eating their vol au vents, staring at a man spare behind. It could have been even worse than that, you know. He could have been a fireman, a policeman, you know, I think Maddie just showed an absolute disrespect for our public servants in her choice of male. You know, I think it could have been quite tacky, and I think Monica wouldn't have liked that at all. She'd have much preferred to just keep things, yes, she'll have a drink, yes, she'll have a giggle, she'll play games, but she doesn't want to be having balls waggled in her face. You know, that's that's not what she signed up to, and Maddie just really didn't read the room on that one. And I love that the book is set in Brick Lane, because it's, you know, I've lived in London. I sort of I came here for a year when I was younger, then I moved away because it was all a little bit much for me, and then I've lived here now for the past 2 years, and Brick Lane is such a wonderful place. The bagel shop is amazing. Salmon and cream cheese is my absolute, I can't remember if she references what Nazneen's favourite bagel is, but you know, were I to meet Nazneen, I would really strongly recommend her trying the cream cheese and salmon. So she's won some wonderful prizes. I'm thrilled for her. I think that's so wonderful. One of my absolute favourite prizes is the Man Booker, and she was actually shortlisted for the Man Booker prize in 2003, which I think is so excellent and quite groundbreaking, because traditionally it's always been the Man Booker, and then Monica Ali came along with Brick Lane and was just like, hey, why not make it the Woman Booker? And I think that's so refreshing to see. And I think at the end, the final thing she says, you can do whatever you like. Brilliant. That's so, what a powerful, you know, I might like to go to brunch. I might like to just have a big lie-in. I can do whatever I like. That's really, you know, I don't need to think, oh, I've got FOMO. Tati has gone for another brunch without me. Why am I only seeing this? And, you know, maybe you didn't even want to go. Maybe you don't want bottomless, you know, Prosecco's at 11 a.m. in the morning. 490 pages, and every one of them a page turner. And there's a lovely little bio. So she was born in Bangladesh. I think that's great. I've never been to Bangladesh. I went interrailing in 2006, and that was amazing. And I love cultural exploration. It's so good. I think the main thing about reading, you know, I am someone who loves to be aware of the world. I love to know what's going on out there beyond my immediate surrounds. I'm really against famine. You know, I absolutely cannot tolerate world hunger. And yes, I do the 5-2 throughout the month of January, because I feel like it helps me regain my pre-Christmas figure. But other than that, I really, you know, intermittent fasting is one thing, but famine is something else. She's got all the big newspapers. Good for her. Good for you, Monica. All the big newspapers have read it. Observer, Daily Telegraph, Independent, Mirror, The Times, New Republic, not one I've heard of, but probably an international newspaper. So all the others are really the backbone of the. I don't know if the Sun has read it. The Sunday Express has in India, The Spectator, the Irish Times. I'm not sure about Vogue. She doesn't say Boston Globe. I feel like, you know, sure, put it in there if it's a nice review, but they're not really a heavy hitter in the same way. Oh, Vogue did review it. That's amazing. See, the thing is, I just know if I've written a book and Vogue had reviewed it, I wouldn't leave it to page 3. I just wouldn't leave it to page 3. But then I guess, you know, look at her fashion choices. They're great. They're classic. But I guess they're M&S. I guess they're not high fashion. Maybe if she was going to be in a gown or something, maybe in her next book, she'll choose to be photographed in a sort of trouser suit, you know, a Vivienne Westwood trouser suit would be wonderful. Something like that. And then she'll want to put Vogue page 1. I also didn't know that Vogue did book reviews. Good Housekeeping have reviewed it. Sure, why not? It would have been sort of sad, because these men sometimes are doing it for all sorts of reasons. You know, maybe they're doing it because they need to pay child support, maybe they're doing it because they really love it. You know, maybe they would do it and they would say something like, oh, Monica, congratulations on your wedding, here's a lovely dance for you. If you want me to massage you, insert a finger, I absolutely will, for 20 to 25, you know, they could have been male prostitutes, that's what I'm saying. £25 and I will happily £50 and I will gladly enter you. And that would have been really awkward for Monica to handle. I don't think she'd like that on her hen weekend. Sternly, remorselessly, fate guides each of us. Only at the beginning, when we're absorbed in details, in all sorts of nonsense, in ourselves, are we aware of its harsh hand. And I agree.